Okay, let's talk about how this looks. This isn't mine. None of this. So, how did we get here? Why is this behind me? Why is this even what I look like? Because I feel like this is a little bit of a confession, something I want to say embarrassed about. Um, I feel like it's something that people are going to say, like, you don't need to be embarrassed, but I feel like all right, let's start from the beginning. So, since the pandemic, yeah, the one in 2020, everybody knows it, right? It's like a thing that we can all say we all know the 2020 pandemic. Okay. So, ever since then, you could see me in my place. And at first, I was inside my closet. And how cute was that? I felt that it was so cool that I could see into other people's homes. Um, Sometimes their pets would come into the camera. I thought it was fine that I was in my closet. It was like amazing that in a New York apartment I could even fit some camera and some space and be able to do it. So it was just all very adorable at first. But then people started sort of cleaning up their background. I went from my closet, which was actually my clothes. You could see them hanging, you could see them folded, to a curtain, which was much better and much cleaner, to a blank wall because I was going to get to it, but also, no, that apartment was more temporary, to another blank wall behind me, which I had plans for, but did I? Did I have plans? Because I have ideas of plans, and it's not really there's some part of it that's like progress and not perfection where I can't start because I have to have the whole picture and I don't have it yet. So I don't know when to, you know what? It is some of that. It's that. So I had this idea where I like succubuses, in small, I thought little platforms with them, but then we moved again. But in all honesty, I didn't even know how to do that. I just I'm not a visual person. There's been nothing on my walls for years, maybe like my whole adult life. I have not been able to figure out what goes where, what color the walls are. A lot of times, everything just remains blank. Actually, it goes beyond just my walls. It goes into the whole apartment, including my dishware. I still had the same set that I had when I first moved out because it was my let me just get plates until I figure out what kind of plates I want plates. 50 years old now. Now they're great plates, dropped a million times. They stayed fine, but they were clear. Why were they clear? Because that's my way of not making a decision. It's just blank. I'm going to leave it blank until I figure out. But I never saw dishes I liked. They were never the perfect size, um, the perfect roundness, the perfect outside, the dip. Like it was never exactly what I wanted. But were the clear plates? No. Now I could say for decades I had the blank slate, and I never even began. So even my desk will only have things that I need. I never have knickknacks, and and these are all Xerxes. He's into records. I don't have a record player. I haven't had one since I was a kid. I never had one when I lived on my own. He's into the Beatles. Fozzie Bear was his. You can't see it. That was his first favorite comedian. You know, I have this cubby and I took things out because you can't see the whole thing. Here's what I had in my cubby. This is the only thing that I could figure out so far. This thing, which is my to-go coffee maker. Basically, when I go to my brother's place, I stay over. I take this in my suitcase. This is the mini. We use one double this size every morning, and I drink it with my frother. You know about my frother. Okay. This, not even my mug. Xerxes mug, but I was putting my mug in there so it fit. This Gilmore Friends mug. See, I love this. I could say that I love this. I could say I love this coffee maker. And I could say that I just went to Israel and got this in Jerusalem and it broke, but we're going to put it back together. These are business cards. And the last thing is this thing that says, stay curious. And, I have the whole question mark thing, so it goes with the curious thing. This actually, my neighbor was throwing it out. And, in New York, you don't throw things out. You leave it out in the stoop, and then Chemda picks it up sometimes. But that's as far as I go. So this is the aesthetic that I will put over there. Not even in any particular order. They don't really go together other than like, look, I'm trying. This is kind of me. But I was seeing as the pandemic or as it became normal for us to be at home and to be on camera at home, to be at work at home, people's aesthetics became so beautiful. And I I like things out of the way. Like I like these cubbies, these little things, and I would put everything in something like that behind, but I really like seeing people's um backgrounds, the way they have their books, sometimes in rainbow order, sometimes just the ones that they want to display that have affected them or so. It tells a story about them. I don't know what this is the story of my boyfriend. This is but I don't know what to put. I would rather throw everything out. So I my laptop, blank, no stickers. Never felt comfortable putting stickers on. But when I go into people's houses, like I don't like things cluttered, but when I go into people's houses and I see tons of frames with things on the wall, different colors per wall, a big personality. I love it. I love it for them. I can't make decisions like that, and it just oh my God, it really is progress, not perfect. Like I don't even know how to. It's hard for me to start. These things were my start. So when you see that cubby, just know that's a little baby win for me. Um, so one time I was doing a job at this Connecticut house when I was doing kids' parties. And I walk in, super rich house, super rich neighborhood, like top level rich. And one of their walls, just one, I think it was the one like going up their stairs, one of their walls was yellow plaid. Yellow plaid. I couldn't believe it because I didn't think that that was a rich aesthetic because it was so, um, that neighborhood wasn't like kooky rich, like artsy rich. It was more like, although some famous artists live there, it was more like waspy rich, like vanilla rich. Nobody had plaid walls. There wasn't knickknacks. It was more like, just a lot of helpers all around the house. Anyway, I didn't like it. It was weird to have a yellow plaid, but I loved the boldness. I loved that they were like, no, plaid wall. It doesn't have to match anything you've ever seen. It doesn't have to match anything in the rest of the house. I was like, how did they do that? And they're just living with this decision, just looking at a yellow plaid. Okay. So I can't tell what this means. Does it mean that I don't want to like, does it mean I'm boring? Does it mean I don't know how to I think it means I don't know how to tell a story uh, by my aesthetic. I'm not comfortable doing it. I never liked bumper stickers. I don't like shirts with words on them. I don't like telling you who I am. I think you're just gonna like know, but I appreciate it in other people. I'm just having a hard time with it. It's just not the way I want to express myself. And actually, I think this goes back even into my childhood. I was just talking about it with my Gilmore friends. And for my bat mitzvah, I was 12 years old. Now you start, like 12 is your bat mitzvah. So at 11, you're making decisions. Not that I really got to make a lot about my bat mitzvah, but one of the things that they ask you to do is pick a theme. And I didn't know what theme. Now I know I liked singing and dancing, but I didn't know I didn't commit to any artists. I didn't feel comfortable saying who I liked listening to. I was kind of a very pop girl, and that's not really like the aesthetic. Like I just like what everybody likes. But I ended up doing that anyway, not music. That would even make more sense than what I actually landed on, which is embarrassing, and I'm not the only one who needs to be embarrassed about this decision. I think us as a people needs to be embarrassed by my decision. My theme was girl, okay? As in female. And I didn't even know what that means. what I learned it meant as I was watching, like, sitcoms and things like that is the mall, doing your hair, talking about boys, worrying if he'd call, constantly on the telephone. So I took that understanding and I said, "Girl, so the centerpieces was like combs and telephone and, like, I don't even know what else because it's hard to think because it's not like I was a baby and how they do the gender reveal, but it must have been somewhat pink. My room was pink because my parents chose that color. I was 10 when I got into that room, and I was just like, I guess it's pink." It didn't bother me. Whatever it was, they could have picked blue. I wasn't gonna be like, "Am I a boy now?" That's not what was going on. I was just like, "I don't know. This is just the walls I sleep in," like, this is just the thing that keeps me warm. Outside is what I want things to be like. I don't Who cares what it's like in here? But I care. I care. And sometimes I think it's weird to me that not me is behind me, representing me, but I don't even have enough things to put there. Like, I'd put my bicycle back there. I just don't think that's pretty either, and it doesn't really fit there. It'd have to come all the way in. So, I don't know. But what does it mean to you? You know what I mean? Like, when you see this and when I describe this as not me and I show you things like, yay, I mean, I guess I'm into coffee. Sure. I love my coffee morning routine. Love it. It's very calming, which I guess sounds weird to say about coffee. I love it. I love these water bottles and the extra thing that we found on the internet that allows me to have a straw with it. Does that mean I need to display it? It's just very, and I thought of doing like a whole ocean behind me, but that's like doing the generic wallpaper or screen thing behind you. And yeah, I tend to think very generically in terms of um, physical aesthetic, in terms of like how do I do that? And I'm even dressing like, is this comfortable? Um, Says enough about me. What does this say about me? The no collar maybe says I might meditate, and I do. So I guess score 1 point for the shirt. I think it's me. What do you think? What is me? What do you know about me? Thanks for listening. Clickety clack buttons. Good night.